Hello learners, I am Nidhi from Department of Elementary Education, Mata Sundari College, University of Delhi. In this lesson, we are going to study about the topic writing across the curriculum. But before beginning the lesson, let me start with few key questions. Do you think we need writing only in language classrooms? Or do you think we need writing skills in other subjects too, such as mathematics, science, and social science? Is teaching writing only the responsibility of the language teacher? If we analyze properly, we will find out that we use writing skills in all subjects. It is not restricted to language classrooms or grammar periods. Writing is a core literacy skill. Hence, writing is used in all the subjects such as mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry, history, political science, and geography. In other words, writing is used across the curriculum. It is important to note that we do not engage in similar nature of writing in all subjects. Writing can be different depending on the nature of subject. We can write to express our feelings, we can write to analyze data, we can write to collect our findings, we can write to describe a process, or we can write to represent our conclusions. We use different types of writing across the curriculum in different subjects. Let's discuss the main types of writing. The first type of writing I will discuss is information transfer. Palmer 1994 described information transfer as an activity that develops full linguistic form into diagrammatic or semi-diagrammatic form or vice versa. In this transfer, information remains the same, but the form of information changes. In this type of writing, we write paragraphs based on our understanding of the graphic representation given in the form of a graph, chart, table, or map. The writer comprehends the information given in the graphic representation and then expresses it in his own word. It is a two-way process, that is, either you can write a paragraph based on your understanding of the graphic representation, or you can develop a graphic representation based on the given paragraph. This type of writing can be used both as receptive or productive skill. When we use information transfer for receptive skill, learners are given linguistic material, they read the information and then transfer the information into a chart, diagram, table, or graph. Similarly, it is used as a productive skill where learners studies diagrams, tables, or chart and produces a writing piece from it. Information transfer can enable learners to understand development of good writing text. In this type, learners engage in multiple processes. They are motivated to understand the core information, select the relevant facts, organize ideas and facts, and then produce a writing piece in the form of a paragraph. Let us take few examples of information transfer type of writing. Look at the example number 1. It is a representation of rearing silkworms giving key information about female silkworm moth with eggs, mulberry tree, larva or caterpillar feeding on the mulberry leaf, and cocoons. Now, students are given this representation as you can see on your screen and asked to write a paragraph on this representation. Now, let us take another example. The bar graph which you can see, it shows the percentage of female teachers in primary schools in 2014. Now, students can be asked to study this bar graph and write a paragraph about the given information. Now, let's take another example. So, as you can see on your screen, this is the sex-wise participation of students in government and private schools in different regions of India. In this pie chart, we get information about the participation in government and private schools, ratio of boys and girls, and also different regions. Now, combining these three information, students can be asked to write a paragraph on the same. All these three examples require comprehending the diagram, chart or graph, then identifying main information, and finally transferring the information into paragraph. There are significant advantages of using information transfer type of writing in classrooms. First of all, this type of writing includes reading and writing, involving a component of presentation or peer work will include speaking and listening to in the activity. Hence, all four language skills are involved. Second, it can be used for a wide range of text in different subjects. For example, in history, writing a paragraph about Mughal dynasty after studying a timeline of Mughal Empire, or in science, students can be asked to write a paragraph about food chain after studying few diagrams of food chain. Next, it helps learners to focus on core idea. It indeed provides a framework of writing to learners. Hence, it is a significant tool for enabling all students to learn writing. Last, it helps to motivate and generate learners' interest in writing. It is important to note that we can use this type of writing in all subjects, such as mathematics, science, social science, and language. This type of writing is effective and enables students to understand main idea of text. Now, we will discuss second type of writing, which is used for writing in different subjects, that is paragraph or essay. A paragraph or an essay deals with a particular idea in detail. It is related to a single topic and is coherent and organized. It is a focused piece of writing that develops an argument. A good paragraph has three main elements: a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence. The topic sentence is the first sentence of paragraph. It states the main idea of the paragraph. It rather activates the schema about the focus of the paragraph. Next, the supporting sentences are used to propose and present the main idea of the paragraph. It gives more relevant information about the topic. Topic sentence directs towards the main idea of the paragraph, while supporting sentences develop the argument or position taken with the help of relevant facts, statistics, and examples. Now, the concluding sentence is the last sentence of the paragraph, usually concludes by focusing on the idea mentioned by the topic, sentence, and supporting sentences. After discussing about the structure of an effective paragraph, let's discuss about the characteristic of a good paragraph. There are three main characteristics of good paragraph, that is unity, coherence, and emphasis. First of all, let's talk about unity. This component begins with the topic sentence. That is, how do you start your paragraph? The topic sentence establishes the main idea of your paragraph. The supporting sentences strengthens the topic sentence. It develops the idea proposed by the topic sentence. The second characteristic is coherence. It's a quality which makes writing comprehensive. It makes sentences well connected to each other and targeted to the main idea. It focuses on the main expression. If something has coherence, it means its parts are well connected and are pointing towards the same direction. This characteristic ensures that the paragraph is reader friendly and helps in comprehension. The final characteristic is emphasis. As such, emphasis means the stress or importance given on an idea. With emphasis in writing, we focus our readers' attention on what is more important in our writing. The main idea of the paragraph must be emphasized in topic sentence, supporting sentences, and concluding sentence. Emphasis is important to ensure that we are not overloading our paragraph with unnecessary details and information. For example, let's assume we need to write a paragraph on why fruits are good for health. Now, in this paragraph, we must emphasize on fruits specifically. We can tell about importance of food, its nutritional value, and its properties. There is no need to mention about other examples of healthy foods such as grains, vegetables, pulses, or nuts. We are writing about fruits, hence our emphasis must remain on fruits only. Now we come to third type of writing. So let's discuss the third type of writing, that is report writing. A report is a short, focused and concise document written with a particular objective. It is a formal document that elaborates on a topic using required evidences and finding. The audience of reports are a specific set of people. It is a formal style of presenting information to the audiences. It is a well-structured documentation of an event or information. Generally, a report is focused on a specific problem. It states the problem, presents the finding, and analyzes the impact and states the conclusion. Reports can be technical, academic, or research-based or business-oriented. Features of a good report are that it is brief and accurate, complete and clear. It is written in third person. It includes relevant information. It avoids emotional overtones. In reports, ideas are logically arranged. Its language is simple and jargon is avoided. Now, after discussing the characteristic of a good report, let us see what points we must keep in mind while writing a report. First of all, we must do some preparation for our report writing. We need to take specific decisions about our purpose, audience, requirement, and information needed. Without being clear about these crucial points, we cannot proceed to write a report. It is the stage of pre-writing, and researchers explain that pre-writing takes 90% of a time in a writing. Hence, this first step is very essential. Secondly, personal opinion must not be included in the report. It is an accurate account of what is happening, observed by the reporter, or what information is to be given by the reporter. It does not include whether reporter thinks that topic was correct or not. A good report never includes views of reporter. Thirdly, the topic of report must be clearly emphasized. Next, the structure of report must be clear, concise and focused. In addition to it, to substantiate the information given in the report, bullets, points, graphs can be included by the reporter. Last, a brief summary focusing the main points of report is important to include. Now, let us take an example of a laboratory report used in scientific writing. What will be the main components of this report? As we know that a library report will be based on some scientific procedure tested by the investigator. Hence, its structure may include headings such as title, introduction. Now, introduction section will give detail about the scientific concept studied, purpose, objectives. It may also contain statement of hypothesis. And the next section can be the material required and procedure. After that, there will be use of graphs that can be shared in the report, followed by the conclusion. Similarly, we can think about the main format of other academic reports. The main components of academic reports exploring a specific problem in a social science area such as education may include sections such as title, table of contents, problem, findings, analysis, discussion, conclusion, recommendations, and references. Hence, the structure and format of report depends on the subject in which this type of writing is undertaken. Report writing can be used in grammar classrooms, science lessons, or for social science topics. Now, let us come to some specific study skills which can help students in writing for different subjects across the curriculum. These study skills have a wide range and are not restricted to one particular subject. The first study skill we will discuss is taking notes. Now, it is a useful writing study skill which is largely used in content area subjects. It enables us to record what have we understood in a crisp and concise way. Notes help us to recall and revive whatever we have read. It is an extremely important study skill. Now, let us talk about two terms to understand this study skill clearly, that is, note-taking and note-making. Note-taking is the activity of recording information in writing while listening. In this, we use short form, abbreviations, symbols, diagrams, or similar strategies to fasten the note-taking. It only involves writing down important points. The objective is to quickly catch the important points from speaker's presentation. It is done so that reader can refer it back later. It is fast but mostly a bit jumbled. I'm sure you must also be taking notes from the various video lessons you are watching in your subject. You must have also taken notes in various lectures, seminars, and conferences you might have attended. Now, journalists often use this technique of note-taking while listening to speakers. They take notes to record the main point of the speaker. Now, let's talk about note-making. Note-making is the next step of note-taking. It is a more elaborate process. It's a way of recording information collected from various books, study material, and notes taken. It increases our level of understanding as it's more structured. From notes taken, we not only elaborate the understood topic, but we also review, connect, explore, analyze, and summarize the ideas from lectures and study material. It assimilates all information comprehensively, thus making it easier for students to study and remember. It is an effective academic skill required across subjects. There are certain main characteristics of making good notes. First, it must be short and compact. Remember, notes are not descriptive writing, hence, it has to be concise. Second, it must give proper and complete information. All important points must be included in notes. Third, there should be a structure in the notes. One cannot write points in a jumbled way. Rather, the internal structure or outline must be evident in notes. Last, notes must be easy to understand whenever consulted later. Now, let's talk about second study skill, that is summarizing. It is an important study skill. It condenses the original writing and presents its specific main information. It enables us to read the text properly, identify the main idea and supporting facts, and then rewrite in one's own words. It includes leaving out the irrelevant ideas and details. Let's discuss some main advantages of summarizing. Firstly, it helps learner to identify the main idea and supporting details. Secondly, it helps learner to focus on key vocabulary. Thirdly, it teaches students how to identify important information from irrelevant information and present conclusion. Now the question is, how can we teach summarizing to our students? So for that, we begin by giving a text selection or a paragraph to students to read. Then ask students to find out the main idea and supporting information from the given text. Ask students to identify the information which is unnecessary and which must not be included in the summary. Encourage students to write summary in their own language using keywords or phrases from the text selection. Now we have come to an end of this topic. So let's summarize this video lesson. In this lesson, we focused on how writing is used in all subjects across the curriculum. Writing is used in different types in different subjects. First of all, we discussed about information transfer writing. Information transfer as an activity that develops full linguistic form into diagrammatic or semi-diagrammatic form or vice versa. In this transfer, information remains the same, but the form of information changes. After discussing few examples, we learned about advantages of information transfer writing. After information transfer writing, we discussed about essay or paragraph writing as a type of writing used in different subjects. A paragraph or an essay deals with a particular idea in detail. It is related to a single topic and is coherent and organized. After discussing about paragraphs in detail, we learned about the elements of paragraphs and characteristics of good paragraph. Thirdly, we discussed about report writing, as we learned that report is a short, focused and concise document written with a particular objective. It is a formal document that elaborates on a topic using required evidences and findings. We further learned about features of good report. We also saw format of a laboratory report and a social science based report. Next to it, we discussed about two study skills, that is taking notes and summarizing. Under taking notes, we learned about the difference between note taking and note making. And we also discussed the characteristics of good note making. We learned about the advantages of summarizing and teaching summarizing to students. I hope this lesson must have enabled you to understand this topic in a better way. I'm very sure that irrespective of the subject you are teaching, you will try to include all these type of writing in your pedagogy, because writing is not limited to language classrooms. Rather, writing exists across the curriculum. Thank you and happy learning.